Welcome everyone to our Spring ISEP Live series. My name is Danita Takamoto and I am the Director of ISEP Direct Programs. I want to briefly share with you guys what ISEP Live is for those of you, if it's your first time here. ISEP Live are short 25 to 30 minute online information sessions aimed at giving you and or your students insider and detailed information about our programs. Today we will feature two very specific types of programs. We will feature our internship programs in Europe and our two global engagement programs in Ghana and Costa Rica. You will also hear from our regional directors who work directly with each of these particular programs. I encourage you guys to hold your questions towards the end when we will have an opportunity for you guys to answer your questions. Moving right along, I want to share with you guys who you'll be hearing from today. So you'll be hearing from Nancy Campbell, who's our Regional Director for Europe. Nancy is standing there on the photo to the right with the red hair and beautiful pink sweater. And we'll have Jeanne d'Arc Gomez. She has the beautiful orange scarf, and she's our Regional Director for Africa. And Jeanne d'Arc will share with you guys about our program in Ghana. And then Linda Stewart is wearing the purple scarf to the left, and she'll be sharing with you about our program, our global engagement program in Costa Rica. And then I'm in the middle there with the blue scarf, and I'll be moderating today's session. Very briefly, who is ISEP? Most of you guys may know this already, but just a very brief overview. We're a nonprofit network, and the acronym stands for International Student Exchange Programs. We work with about 340 universities, and that means we have roughly about just over 45,000 alumni across the world. We have been around for 30 years, since 1979, and we are known for offering programs that are more immersive and affordable and unique. I want to share very quickly before we hear from Nancy about our European programs about program application tips. For those students online, we here at ISEP encourage you to talk to your ISEP coordinator on your campus. That's the first person you should be talking to if you're interested in studying abroad anyway, whether it's with ISEP or anyone else. And what you should ask them, that coordinator, is what are your next steps and when is the priority deadline, and we'll be talking about that in a minute. We also encourage you to research our programs so that you can understand which programs are a better fit for your academic needs. And we want to let you know that if you check the ISEP program deadline, that will give you a timeline of when various items are due. So at ISEP, we have a priority deadline for our exchanges every fall. It's generally September 1. And then for our spring programs, and if you want to do an exchange program in the fall semester, that exchange deadline is generally mid-February. So our priority deadline for fall 2014 is coming up next week, Tuesday. We also want to ask you guys and encourage you to connect with ISEP alumni and our ISEP ambassadors on social media. If you want to know who they are, contact us. You can also go to our blog where we constantly use ISEP alumni to share with us about their experiences. And we have alumni from the US and we have alumni from all of our international sites. So you'll get a very good perspective on their experience. I think it's always better to hear from students directly. Next, I'm going to introduce Nancy Campbell to speak about our internship programs in Milan. Nancy, why don't you share with us what students can expect for their internship in Milan?
Good afternoon, everyone, and good morning to those of you on the West Coast. As Danita said, my name is Nancy Campbell, and I am thrilled to be presenting today about two really exciting internship opportunities in Europe. We know that when you graduate college, work experience is very important, and so we want to help you gain cross-cultural experience and work experience at the same time. So as you can see here, Milan, Italy is located in the north, very close to the Switzerland and French borders, and so it's a great location not only to explore in its own right, but also in regards to travel through Europe. So our internship program in Milan is offered through the Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore, and this is the first year we'll be offering this program. It's only offered on ISEP Direct and will take place either for a semester or full year. So you can do the program from September through December, or February through May, or likewise September through May if you want to do a full year. The full year program costs $26,400, and for the first semester it'll be $14,450. Now this includes your tuition at the Universidad Católica del Sacro Corazón, as well as an off-campus apartment, and the Sacro Corazón staff will help place you in an internship based on your experience and interests. Now what's exciting about this program is that it is an internship for credit. You can take internships or you can do internships in a number of fields, including business, accounting, marketing, fashion, and communication. Milan itself is a business hub of Italy, so what better place to do an internship in business than in one of the most important cities in Italy. Also of note, it's really important to know that Sacro Corazón being in Milan is one of the best student cities voted in Italy, according to one of the latest world rankings. So not only will you have great business experience, but you'll also have a great student life as well. In addition to the internship, you'll take 2/3 of your courses at the University of Católica Sacro Corazón. And so those classes are in the field of business and economics, media, communications and sociology, fashion, and then Italian culture, language, theater, cinema, music, and philosophy. So as you see here on the screen, this is my latest visit to Milan, and this is in one of the famous shopping areas of Milan, and it's said to be good luck to put your heel on the bull and turn in a circle. So that's my attempt at getting good luck for the next year or so. I hope you'll be able to go and visit that as well. So you might ask about some of the more specifics in regards to the courses, and we have all of that online. If you go to our ISEP website, at the top right-hand corner, you'll see the heading Directory of Universities. You'll click on that and click on International universities, and it'll give you a list of all of our international universities. You'll click Universidad Católica del Sacro Corazón, and you'll see in our Fast Facts information on all of the courses, both offered in Italian and English, and with them you'll find the syllabi necessary to get pre-approval with your academic advisors. If you don't speak Italian, it's okay. The internships are offered in English, unless you want to do it in fashion, and in that case you may need a higher level of Italian. But you can do this entire program in English and take Italian language courses as well. Sacro Corazón does a wonderful job about providing videos for students as to what it might be like to live in Milan. On our screen here you'll see a link to those videos. I highly recommend you take a look at what Milan has to offer. The picture you see here is one of the many places you can buy gelato. I highly recommend eating it daily if you're there. You have a number of varieties to make sure you don't get tired of what you're eating. And then moving on, another very exciting opportunity is through Vesalius College in Brussels, Belgium. Vesalius College is known for its international relations and business and communications program. And what better place to study international relations than in the central location of Brussels, where it is the de facto capital of the European Union. It's also home to the European Commission, the Council of European Union, and the European Council, as well as NATO, and it's also known as the second home to the European Parliament. So there are a lot of opportunities for students to get involved and get first-hand experience working in international relations and politics. So here on the screen you see the Grand Place, which is actually the center of Brussels and one of the most famous landmarks in the city. It dates back to the 17th century, and around the place you'll have restaurants and shops as well as offices where you can hang out with your friends. And as you see, there are a lot of parks and interesting little pockets of the city that are interesting to discover, as Heather from Whitworth University really enjoyed during her time there. The internship program itself is a tuition-only program. It's for a full year, $19,500, and for a semester, $10,950. There's also a summer option if you're interested that includes the internship. So you might ask, where can I work if I do an internship with Vesalius College? They have partnerships with some of the major organizations that you might be familiar with. Things like Citibank, ING Direct, UPS, Fulbright, the European Center for Public Affairs. These are a mere few of the internship possibilities. On their website, they list all of their partnerships, so I encourage you to check out the profiles to see if you can find the right fit for what you might want to do. What's also really exciting about this program is that the homestay option is available. It's a great way to improve your French if you speak some French. If you don't, it's not a problem. You'll be able to communicate in English, as this program is completely in English. You'll learn what it's like to be a real student in Brussels on a day-to-day basis. And additionally, the homestay includes 12 meals a week, which makes it a really great value. In addition to your internship, which is for credit, you will have coursework available in the field of international relations, communications, and business. And just like for our last internship program, you'll go to the Directory of Universities and choose Vesalius College, where you'll find the courses that you'll be able to take in English, as well as some information on the internship program and videos about our about life in Brussels. Popular fields of study, as I mentioned, are business communications and international relations. They also have a really impressive program in European peace and security studies, if you're interested in getting a certificate for that as well.
Thank you, Nancy. That is very exciting. And you just heard about our two internship options in Milan, Italy with Sacré-Cœur and in Brussels with Vesalius College. Next, we're going to shift gears a bit and hear about two very unique ISEP programs. We call these programs global engagement programs. And they're different from the internships in the sense that you really engage with the community. You do community service work and you volunteer with the community. And so you don't necessarily get academic courses, but let me not give too much away, and let me introduce you guys to Jeanne d'Arc Gomez. Jeanne d'Arc has been working for ISEP for about a year and a half, and Jeanne d'Arc is originally from Senegal. Jeanne d'Arc, why don't you share with us what students can expect with our Ghana Global Engagement Program?
Certainly. I would be very pleased and delighted to share with you our exciting program in Ghana. But before I talk about the specificity of the program, I'd just like to maybe introduce Ghana a little bit, and also the University of Ghana, to those of us who do not know where they are located. Ghana is in West Africa, and it is surrounded by Togo, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, and the Atlantic Ocean. Ghana has a population of about 25 million people, pretty much a little bit the size of Oregon. Ghana is a very community-oriented or communal country, a country where despite the very, very hot temperature, people spend little time in the house. Rather, they spend time embracing each other, and especially foreigners, students like you. Ghana is full of color. The country gives the lively image of Africa that many people know. That means the bright fabrics and pattern, heavy drumming, dancing, and singing. It's really a lively country. This is why it has been deemed the Africa for beginners. The people are very, very friendly. And you'll find much of that when you visit Ghana. Historically, Ghana is a very important country. It sits at the core of the transatlantic slave trade and is home to several slave castles that are full of history. The site is good for heritage students and just any student who wants to deeper understanding of colonialism, dispersion of people, and interconnectivity of the human race. Now let us talk more precisely about the University of Ghana. It is located in the city, the capital city, Accra. Most precisely, it sits in Legon, a suburb of the capital about 10 to 15 minutes away. It's the oldest and largest university in Ghana, enrolling approximately 30,000 students. It is the most respected university and one of the best in the region. As a matter of fact, the university presents itself as the premier higher education center of the country. UG, as most commonly referred to, is a member of the League of World Universities, which is a compilation of 47 world-renowned research universities. Ghana has been a member of ISEP since 1996. It is the oldest African partner that we have, so we have a very well-established relationship with the institution. So because of its location, the University of Ghana gives access to many historical and cultural centers, some of which you will be visiting when you participate in this program. Now, what is the GEP? What is the Global Engagement Program in Ghana? The program is twofold. You can enroll in classes at the university. In addition to that, participants get the benefit of engaging with the community. This is an experience that you would not otherwise have if you just stay at the university. So we want you to go outside and meet with people. Some of those opportunities include service learning for credit, volunteer work, independent study, research project, etc. These are some of the GEP sites that our students have worked with in the past. The Beacon House, Mawuvio Outreach Program, the Global Civic Preservation, Cultural Awareness, New Horizons Special School, and West African Aid Foundation. I should say that the list is really not limited to what we have on the screen. We can work with students based on their needs to identify a site, even though not listed here, that can accommodate that need, if that is provided to us ahead of time. One thing that I really love about these community engagement opportunities is that the organization are scanned for safety and validity. A need assessment is done with each organization to ensure that students' activity are meaningful and these partnerships are sustainable. And most importantly, that our students are really making a difference in the community. I myself have visited Ghana a couple of months ago, and I was so amazed by how appreciative these institutions were. You bring a unique set of skills that are really well needed and are not always available in those sites. So you make an impact in the life of the people that those institutions work with. Some of the benefits include an on-site resident director, tuition, housing, and meals are included in the program. We have a pre-arranged group flight, airport pickup and drop-off. We also offer on-site orientation, a couple of tours and excursions to Accra City, Kumasi City, the Cape Coast. We also visit a few institutions that are very unique. For example, the Boonwaya, which is a village that teaches students the history of traditional West African weaving. These are worn during special occasions, normally by kings, queens, and chiefs. So our students get the chance to use their feet and hands to practice these traditional weavings. One most important benefit of this program is also the Twi language. ISEP has a professor who teaches students, give them basic skills in that language. I met with a couple of students who indicated to me that through taking that class helped them navigate the system. Two examples were, one of them was able to bargain at the market and get one item at a lower price simply by trying to speak in the local language. Another student indicated that it is really helpful speaking in the local language when trying to catch a cab. So learning the local language when you're studying abroad is also a very important component of acquiring cultural understanding and also being accepted by the community. Studying in Ghana is more than just studying abroad. You can also be involved in extracurricular activities such as basketball, swimming, and you name them. Participants in these teams have in the past traveled to other West African countries and even sites in Ghana for competition. So we really encourage you to consider joining those teams. We also invite you to make a difference in the lives of others by participating in the Global Engagement Program. This is both an exchange and a direct program. We have very limited exchange spot, but placement in direct is really excellent. The program fee for 2013-14 for a full year was $18,600. And for a semester, it was $10,300. Thank you so much for your time. And I would give the floor to Danita to introduce the next presenter.
Thank you, Jeanne d'Arc. That was very exciting. I don't see how you cannot go in our GEP program to Ghana. Next, we're going to hear from Linda Stewart about our Global Engagement Program in Costa Rica. Linda, why don't you share more with us what students can expect in Costa Rica?
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Buenas tardes y buenos días for those of you on the West Coast. I'm very glad today to be able to talk to you about the Costa Rica Global Engagement Program that takes place at the Universidad Nacional in Heredia, Costa Rica. The slide that you see here is a picture of the campus. I want you to remember that it's going to be green like this all year long. The only seasons in Costa Rica are the dry season and the rainy season. So it's beautiful weather and beautiful landscapes. The Costa Rica GEP program is offered on a semester and a full year basis. The requirement to take part in the program is 4 semesters of Spanish. And another great benefit of this program, it is open to sophomores as well as juniors and seniors. The academic component of the program requires students to enroll in 5 courses. One of these courses has to be the Spanish language and Costa Rican culture. And then the other 4 courses can be in fine arts, history, international relations, Latin American studies, Spanish literature, Costa Rican literature, Latin American literature, and general education. UNA also offers individual tutoring for an additional fee and the opportunity to take part in the Language Exchange Club, in which you will be paired up with a Costa Rican student. This is a great way to be able to meet the locals. Both the individual tutoring and the Language Exchange Club will have certificates that you can use when you get back to campus to ask if you can get credit awarded for these 2 activities. Another benefit of these 2 activities, the tutoring as well as the club, is that it can take the place of one of the 5 course requirements. In other words, you can take the Spanish language course, you can take the tutoring, the Language Exchange Club, and then only have to take 2 additional courses from the fields of study that I mentioned above. The service learning and community service and volunteer component includes ISEP facilitated community service opportunities during the semester and the weekends, and the 1-week off-site community service activity. With regards to the volunteer opportunities during the semester, all you have to do is talk to the resident director, and she will set up the volunteer activity in the field in which you are interested in and for the amount of time that you want to be able to devote to this activity. It can take the form of a couple of hours during the week or a full weekend. What are some examples? You can work at orphanages, homes for the elderly. We also had one student, I think 2 years ago, that worked for a veterinary hospital, another that worked for a regular hospital, and then we had a couple of students going, for example, on weekend trips to turtle and wildlife reserves to help out with the activities. I do want to mention that all these sites and all these options and opportunities have been visited and vetted by the resident director. I also wanted to mention that each one of these activities, you will be issued a certificate of participation with a number of hours and a description of the activity in which you were involved. This next slide is a map of Costa Rica. As you can see, it is bordered on the north by Nicaragua and on the south by Panama. This means that you will have the opportunity not only to travel through all of Costa Rica, but to Nicaragua and Panama as well. There's excellent bus service. There must be at least 8 to 10 different bus and transportation companies, all air-conditioned and all guaranteed to be safe. As you can see, in the central part of Costa Rica is Heredia. That's where you will be studying and where the Universidad Nacional is located. As you can see, it's just about a 20-minute distance from San Jose. You will be flying into the San Jose airport and probably be departing from it as well. But don't worry, your host family will be there to pick you up and take you back when you're returning home. In the southern part of Costa Rica, you will see another little star with the name Asoprola. That's where the week-long off-site community service week will take place. This is located in what is called or known as the Southern Pacific part of Costa Rica. The town or the rural community where you will be living for a week and working and playing is located in the Parque Internacional de la Amistad. This is the International Friendship Park. It is a biosphere reserve named that by UNESCO in 1982. At Asoprola, you will be living with a rural family. There will be 2 students per family. All meals are included, and the trip from Heredia to Asoprola averages about 4.5 to 5 hours. You will be transported in either a small minibus or a van, fully air conditioning, completely safe, and very comfortable. The next slide shows a picture of the group that went last semester. As you can see, at the bottom of the picture, it says ISEP Asoprola Rural Community Tourism. What this community is trying to do is work towards being awarded a certificate for rural community tourism. And this is where ISEP students are helping out to be able to achieve this recognition. Some of the activities which you will be involved in are organic food production. You will learn how to prepare the compost, how to do the planting, and then how to take care of the plants. You will also be helping out decorating with ceramics. There is also a nursery for seedlings to be used in the reforestation of the areas in the community. You will be involved in activities with community children and youth. These are always a lot of fun. The children there love to know about you, where you come from, and what the United States and other countries are like. You'll also be able to get the chance to take part in cultural activities such as dancing. You really have to learn to dance salsa, and the community will be very willing to help you out with that. And some of your host moms will also try to teach you how to cook Costa Rican food. It is excellent. All the food is fresh and the fruits are to die for. I've been in Costa Rica 5 times, and each time I go, I'm amazed by the different number of fruits that are available and how delicious they are throughout the whole year. You'll also be taken to visit the International Friendship Park hot springs and waterfall, because not everything can be work. So the next slides, okay, on your left, that's the work part of your community service. On the right part, you will see some of the relaxing activities that you will be able to take part in. One of the most interesting things that students did last semester, and the one which they had the most fun in, was decorating a pool for the community children. Here we have an example of the ceramic decorating, which you will probably take part in as well. And as you can see, this student had a whale of a good time. I couldn't resist using that quote. Bueno, un trabajo bien hecho. The program for fall 2014-15 begins in July, ends in December. The community service will take place probably the first week in December 2014. We have two ways that you can go on the program. Through the direct GEP program for $9,900 and or the exchange model, which has a supplemental fee of $640. I just wanted to run through some of the most important things that are included in your benefits. On-site resident director, tuition, housing and meals. There will be one student with each host family. Airport pickup and drop-off, as I mentioned before. Week-long orientation. Tours to Heredia and San Jose. You will have excursions, tours, and treks that are included. And like I mentioned before, ISEP facilitated community service opportunities and the 1-week off-site community service week. Please note that ISEP's application deadline is May 1st, 2014, but be sure to check with your university for their internal application deadline. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and pura vida.
Thank you, Linda. Stuart. Again, this is Danita Takamoto, just the moderator for today's ISEP Live session. And today, just to wrap it up, we heard from our 2 internship opportunities in Europe, in Milan and Versailles in Brussels, and we also heard about our Global Engagement Program in Ghana and our Global Engagement Program in Costa Rica. Next, I want to encourage you guys to ask us questions. We already have a couple of questions lined up. The way to use the questions is to use, you have a message box on your control panel, and we encourage you to type in questions there. Let's see what some of our questions are. All right, is there academic credit attached to any of the global engagement programs? Jean-Darc and Linda, can you guys give us some insight if there's any credit?
Certainly. Student, you are able to get credit through the GP in Ghana. You just need to work with your study abroad advisor at home and probably your department, and we can set something with for you with the resident director in Ghana, and you will be able to get credit, but it has to be worked out between the 2 institutions.
Thank you, Jean-Darc. And what about in Costa Rica, Linda? Can students get academic credit for their global engagement program?
It follows the same model as with Ghana. Like I had mentioned during my presentation, you will be given a certificate for each one of the volunteer and community service activities that you take part in. They will describe the activity that was developed and the number of hours that you took part in it. And usually your home university will award you credits for this type of activity.
Great, thank you so much. So it sounds like there's a bit of homework on your end to ensure that you can get academic credit for your global engagement programs. Next, we have a question about the internship program in Belgium. Is the summer internship in Belgium direct or exchange? And the follow-up question is, what is the summer application deadline for that program? Nancy, why don't you share with us those details?
Absolutely. So our internship program in Belgium is offered for the full year and semester on exchange and direct. However, exchange space is extremely limited. So if you have your heart set on going to Belgium and doing the internship program, I would highly encourage you to look into ISEP Direct. In the summer, as most of our programs are, they're also on Direct. If you're interested in the internship, the deadline is approaching very quickly. February 18th is the deadline, so be sure to get your application in as soon as possible. Because it's an internship program, there's a little bit more work that has to be done by the host coordinator, which is the reason for the earlier deadline.
Thank you, Nancy. It sounds like we have one more question about the tutoring option. So the question reads, how does the individual tutoring option work, and are students paying to work as a tutor, and are the tutor who's receiving the tutoring?
Thank you for that question. Very interesting. The tutoring sessions is a one-on-one session given by one of the Spanish language professors at UNA. It follows the same number of hours of any 3-credit course that you would be taking at your home university. In other words, it will be a 45 hours per semester. It will be given according to your Spanish level, and the professor will be sure to work those aspects of your Spanish language ability in which you need help. There's an additional fee of $480 for that 45 hours during the semester.
Great, thank you so much. And that then wraps up our ISEP Live session for today. We want to encourage you to go to our website and to check out our blog. We also have students who are student ambassadors who have gone on these various programs. And with that ends our show. I want to let you know that we will post these sessions by next week on the ISEP Live webpage. Thank you so much for making time to hear about our internships and our service learning. We look forward to chatting again with you guys online soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.